Hello, trigonometry. Uh, Today, we're going to keep looking at our law of sines problems that require some extra geometry to solve. I want to make sure that we are getting good at this, and this will also help you if you haven't finished the math for your lab reports. All right. So here's a quick example. I'll do one more for you here. There's no context here, so hopefully it'll help you apply it to all the other word problems we've got. So we got 2 points, A and B. All right, and we're going to be trying to measure the distance to point C over here. All right, so we use our compass to measure these angles. And the first one, from point A, we measure an angle of 80 degrees to point C. All right, so we are going this way. Now, angles, remember, are always, from a compass, are always based off of north. So here's north. And we come this way, and that angle is going to be 80 degrees. This is a good example where if your drawing isn't perfect, I know that looks like a 90, but your drawing does not need to be perfect as long as you use the numbers that are given in the problem. All right, at point B, we measure an angle of 50 degrees to point C. So again, this is measured off of north. All right, and when we do our angle to point C, this angle right here is 50 degrees. Then, let's see, I missed one, didn't I? Yeah, I missed the 160. So from here to here, when we measure from point A to point B down at the bottom, they told us that was 160. Now make sure we label that angle correctly. That arc is based off of north, and it goes all the way to the line going to point B. So that angle right there is 160. All right. So now we have to find all the interior angles of this triangle. And then we can use the law of sines because they told us that this distance over here from A to B was 15. All right, let me move point B a little closer. There we go. That's point B down there. All right, well, the first one, I think we get one angle here pretty easily. Is this angle right in here. We know the big arc is 160. The smaller arc is 80. So we can subtract those two to find this part right here. So 160 minus 80 is 80. So we have that interior angle. We still need this interior angle over here at point C. And we have part of the angle at B, but only this part right here is 50. We still don't know the sliver on the other side. So we're going to have to draw some extra triangles to figure that out. And let's see, I think the triangle that we want is if I go straight north, south, down from this one. Again, we're making 90s and 180s. Always look for 90s and 180s. I'm going to go straight south here, and then once I get down to point B, I'm going to go straight east, so that way I know this is a 90-degree angle. That gives me a right triangle down there, but I also have this straight angle up here, and so I know this whole straight angle will make 180. But I already know that most of the arc right here to there is 160. So I can complete the arc around to 180 if I add another 20. All right? If we add another 20. Well, this is a right triangle, and so I know that this right angle is 90. That means I can find this angle down here. This must be 70. 70 and 20 makes 90, 90 and 90 makes 180. Again, we keep using this strategy that a triangle's angles have to add up to 180. All right, but I still haven't gotten my goal yet. I need this angle right here. And so I'm hoping you see another right angle then. We've got a north line right here. All right, we've got this north line, but then this east-west line going this way. Well, that means we have ourselves a right angle right here. And we already know that this bottom part of that right angle is 70. That means the leftover bit, this part right here, must be 20 to make that right angle. And now I have all the angles. I'll be able to get all the angles of my triangle. All right, this full angle, this bottom for B, we can now see is 70, which allows me now to get this angle over here at point C because we have 80, we have 70, that makes 150. That means we've got 30 left over. And so now that I have all three angles and I have one side, we can now use the law of sines to find the other two sides. So let's see, my key here is the 30 and the 15, right? Those are an angle and a side across from each other. So sine of 30 over 15 is equal to sine of 80 over, let's see, I guess this is going to be side A over here, isn't it? A. So to solve for A, you cross multiply. You get A times sine of 30 is equal to 15 sine of 80. Get A by itself by dividing by sine of 30. All right, there is our answer for A. You can type that into the calculator if you want the actual decimal, but that's not too hard to do. And then we can set up our law of sines. I'm going to use the same sine of 30 over 15. If you use the same ratio there, you'll avoid round-off error. You don't have to, but it does help avoid round-off error. And our other one would be sine of 70 over, so I guess this will be B up here, won't it? Over B, cross multiply, you get B sine of 30 is equal to 15 sine of 70. Divide both sides, B is equal to 15 sine of 70 over sine of 30. There you have it. So that's the general strategy I want you to be able to have here, is you have to be able to find an extra triangle, usually a right triangle, that you can draw that will help you work your way to the other point to find the angles around that point. Again, you're looking for 90s and 180s that you can help fill in. All right, so what I'd like you to try to do, I've got two problems I want you to try out. You can either pause the video and work on this one. I'll scroll down to the second question here in a minute. Or you can jump over to the OneNote and just open it from the OneNote. It'll be in the OneNote. All right, so pause the video, try that one. And now I'll scroll down. Here's the second one I'd like you to try. And then once you're done with that one, you can continue to work on your math write-up. If you haven't finished it, you can work on the math. You can work on the write-up, whatever you need. Remember, that is due on Friday. Hopefully I'll see you all tomorrow. Good luck.